With 2 more productive months behind us, let's talk about progress we've made. And we're going to be starting with the blockchain department this time. An important NeoGo release was made about 2 weeks ago that brought with it some improvements and various bug fixes, including a testnet state difference fix. So if you are running a node, please upgrade because there is an important change in native contracts. It also brings with it some updates to the phone hard fork support. It's currently available in preview mode, so you can play with it before the official release, but if you are interested in things that are going to be delivered in this hard fork, you can play with them right now with this release of NeoGo. As for current NeoGo developments, we are focusing more on maintaining compatibility with the N3 networks and also bringing some improvements to these networks. Because N3 is still the protocol that we have in production, we also have FS chain networks that are using it extensively, so we are not planning to implement N4 features right away. It may be done in some future, but currently N3 is our priority, and that's the thing that NeoGo is going to be compatible with in the nearest future. In case you missed it, I can remind you that NeoSPCC is back to being a consensus node on Mainnet. And we are running NeoGo node there, it works fine, that's the latest release that we are using, and we'd like to say thanks to our voters and supporters. Some weeks ago we have reconfigured our FS mainnet network from using 1 second minimal block time to 500 milliseconds. And what happened next? Is almost nothing. It just works. It works fine. It serves your requests. It just does it with minimal latencies for your container operations. It's also noticeable for regular storage node requests or things that InnoRing does. Like, we currently have something like 15 seconds average time, and it all goes as traffic goes on the network. The block time lowers for when transactions come in, and it goes back when the network basically does nothing. So it works just fine, and we just wanted to remind you that the feature is there, is being used by FS chains, and you can try it too. A recording of a combined NeoGo and NeoFS workshop that was made for the ongoing SpoonOS hackathon is available here. It's all in Russian because it was made for the so-called Moscow Bowl, but if you are interested in how things are developed using NeoGo and how to use NeoFS, it can be a good introduction. Now on to NeoFS side of things. A big update to NeoFS was released with the version 0.50.0, and it required us 2 patch versions to make it work as we wanted, so the latest and greatest is 0.50.2 now, but these are the versions that are running both on testnet and mainnet now, and they are running fine. The biggest feature delivered with this release is Erasure coding support. It's still considered to be experimental, but you can try it now, and we are mostly doing some performance testing for it now, because functionally we know it works. It works probably even better than we have expected initially, but at the same time we're still reserving some possibility for minor protocol changes, although they are not likely to happen just based on the data that we already have. This feature works fine. Also included in this release are InnoRing configuration simplifications and some bug fixes, especially for storage node, like write cache fixes and quota cache fixes. Some problems really were fixed there. So we are also rolling out basic income mechanism update. Previously it was not possible to track unpaid containers in the network, and now storage nodes can do this, so eventually they are going to be deleting unpaid data, so please check your NeoFS balances, especially for mainnet, because storage should be paid for, and now the network has ability to track that and punish you if you don't pay. But we are already working on the next NeoFS version that I think will be released before the end of December. We have already merged, and currently it's available from the NeoFS master branch, support for NEP11 containers. That is, NeoFS containers have become a NEP11 tokens, just like regular NFTs. You can transfer them from one account to another, which was not possible previously, with all of the appropriate permissions transferred with this token now. So a new owner can do whatever he wants with his container, which also just was not possible previously. We are also expanding our containers with some specialized attributes that we are currently defining in our API. Some of these attributes are going to be system level, like the time lock attribute. You're going to be able to create containers that just can't be deleted before this time lock expires. And some attributes are going to be more for applications like gateways, like we have a set of things that we want to move from S3 objects to the container attributes. So we're going to be doing that. And also in the queue are works for new session token. We have already almost finalized the specification. There are just some minor details that need to be tweaked. And we also have some draft implementations for it, so I think we're gonna be moving quickly with this to release it as soon as possible. Quick and easy, if you have missed this update somehow, please update to the latest SDK version to get fixes and Erasure coding support for your applications. There were some minor fixes in the REST gateway and one big update that was made with the version 0.15.0. This release has removed some long deprecated APIs that were deprecated like a year and a half ago. So we think that's sufficient time for migration. So all of the applications are supposed to be migrated now to using new APIs. So these APIs were just dropped. Our public test gateways are also updated, so these APIs are no longer available there as well. Please update to the latest REST gateway version, which is, by the way, 0.15.1 now, if you are using some private installation, because it's important for us as well to be able to roll out some NeoFS updates, because REST gateway uses some NeoFS APIs, and of course they are somewhat tightly coupled. And if you are using some older gateway, it might eventually lose some abilities to, talk to NeoFS nodes correctly regarding to the current protocol version. So please update your gateways. The latest version of S3 right now is 0.41.5 available here, and there are no big things there, just some fixes and Erasure coding support, of course, and some default policy fetching updates for your convenience. But at the same time, there are a bit more things brewing currently for it. As I have said previously, we are going to be expanding container attributes, and that's exactly where we want to leverage them. So we want to have some of the container metadata to be moved from objects that is currently stored in NeoFS objects in the same container with the user data, so it's not really appropriate to be stored there. We want to move it to container attributes. This will affect S3, I think, in a pretty minimal way. It's just that there is going to be some migration for containers that are currently using S3 gateway. NeoFS status page that you should be checking from time to time to get node addresses and to see the overall network health recently was updated to a new version that brought with it some new statistics available right from the same status page. This was made possible by NeoFS 0.49.0 update that was made previously, and also updates to the Neo Exporter tool that we are using to export various metrics from blockchain to Prometheus. Of course, we had the same data previously internally gathered from various node metrics that are available internally, but now all of this data is available from NeoFS contracts. So that's the big update that was delivered previously, and currently you can see the results of it. I should also point that the size metrics that is available there is counting only object payloads, and as you have probably noticed, on mainnet we have a large number of objects that are mostly very small because we are using mainnet for block storage, and blocks like N3 network blocks are not very big. They have the size of like some hundreds of bytes if they are empty, and probably some kilobytes if there are transactions. So NeoFS header is compatible to the payload here. So the overall size is currently somewhat larger, but what you see is just payloads only. At the same time, you can make these metrics grow if you are to use NeoFS. So watch them and make them grow.